Not all learning has to take place from your own experience. In fact, there's a special type of learning called observational. That's exactly what it sounds like. It's when you learn through observing other people. Now, it's not just that simple, like I watch you and I do what you do. We watch and then we do what we think leads to reinforcement. And we watch and we avoid what we watch lead to negative consequences. So observational learning doesn't just mean doing what you've observed, but we certainly can learn a lot by watching other people and by the consequences of their actions. So Bandura is really the main person that we talk about in terms of observational learning. Is a famous Bobo doll experiment with the clown, where children watched other people be aggressive towards a blow-up clown doll, and surprise, surprise, they were aggressive. But if they watched people being punished after being aggressive with the doll, then they weren't aggressive. So again, it's not just mimicking, it's learning through observation. There are four things that need to take place before observational learning can occur. And for those of you who want to be parents or coaches or teachers, these are the things that have to take place for observational learning to be effective. Sometimes you'll hear parents get ticked off or teachers or coaches go, I showed you what to do, why didn't you do it? And what they mean, I don't know why I made all teachers, coaches, and parents sound like that. I told you what to do, why didn't you do it? And unless these four things have taken place, then that may be the issue. So the very first is attention. My dad showed me how to build cars a lot when I was a kid, but it didn't really interest me. So I was standing there and noise was coming into my ears and I was looking at stuff, but I was listening to songs in my head and recreating Madonna videos in my imagination. I was not paying attention to my father. So even though I logged a lot of hours with him and cars, I could not tell you how to change the oil. So, attention, number one. Then you have to be able to remember what was done. I always tell people we think our memory is fantastic, but then when you go pay $10 to go watch a movie and you are there for 2.5 hours and you walk out of that movie and you loved it so much and someone says, tell me about that movie. You can probably only say like a minute's worth of stuff. That's because your memory is not as fantastic as we think that it is. So sometimes we're paying attention. Sometimes in classes you're listening, you're reading, you're trying. But for whatever reason, that memory does not form. So not only when you're trying to teach someone through observation do you have to catch their attention, but you have to make what you're doing memorable. The next one is imitation. And so you have to be able to replicate what it is you're observing. I can watch John Mayer or Shawn Mendes play the guitar all day long. I can study it all day long. But my fingers don't do that. I tried to learn guitar to impress people in graduate school, and it took me a year to learn one Metallica song poorly. So for whatever reason, my musical intelligence, my musical ability, at least in terms of playing an instrument, is low. So again, it doesn't matter how much attention I pay. It doesn't matter if I can remember what John Mayer or Shawn Mendes is doing. I cannot imitate what they do. This is not fun. And then the last one is desire. So a lot of times we force people to pay attention to us. We do things very memorably, often with pain or horror, and then it's things they can actually do. But if we don't create a desire in someone, then why would you ever want to do that thing? So sometimes that's the part we leave out. Not everything we have to do as human beings is stuff we want to do. So that's where it gets tricky, especially when you're working with kids. And that's why sometimes you'll use external motivators like candy or money. But the problem is that that's what you use when you pull that away. Sometimes the behavior goes away. But there has to be some desire. Internal desire is amazing. That's what will actually lead to behavior. So observational learning, four things need to take place: attention, memory, imitation, and desire.